Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Today we're going to do a little bit of a pallet cleanser, as well as a combo breaker. It's going to be a PVZ. I actually literally woke up today and said, you know what? We need a PVZ. This is this is getting a little bit crazy. I almost forget what the matchup looks like. In the top left, we have one of the best Protosses ever. It is best. And in the top right, the guy that I would give number 2 Zerg in the world to easily, it is Hero. Of course, only Solkey really performing better. Hero is the most consistent ASL player of all time. He gets top 4 just about every single season. But yeah, Solkey winning 2 in a row. You can't deny him. Best Zerg in the world right now. We're on Retro. So just a pretty standard 4-player map. A 12 base map, though, unless you count the center base, which occasionally we've seen taken. But realistically, you can just call it a 12 base map. So yeah, that does make it maybe a little bit easier for Protoss to end up playing a macro game on, if they can secure half the map. The income might not be completely overwhelming. And Best here, looking like he's going to throw Forge down. Oh, never mind, Gateway. And gonna go ahead and scout right away. Of course, he'll run into this Overlord immediately, and that'll let him know that he is on the right path. Now, this is, it looks like an overpool here from Hero, so he's going to be completely fine against the Zealot pressure that's going to be coming in. And probably what we'll see, is the standard stuff. It'll be like 3 Zealots, one with a probe on the ramp. There'll be one out. The Lings will come. Very likely, but, yeah, he'll just probably go into a Nexus. You can't really imagine getting very much damage here. Really good probe micro there. Actually gets a lot of damage on this probe. I mean, this drone. Oh man, this drone's dead. That's how good the probe is. Like, the drone can moving shot and kill an SCV, but the probe is ultimate. It can even kill a drone. It's just crazy the range these things have. Alright, so Zealot's on the way. And the probe does come down and kind of gets ready over here. Watching to see exactly how many Zerglings pop out. It's just going to be 4 here. So very middle of the road, not too aggressive. Of course, if you only make 2, those Zealots are going to come across the map immediately. Best deciding to mine a few minerals. And just waiting for that Nexus. So it does have this one Zealot. He's standing in between the Overlords, as you can see here. That's very, very purposeful. He just makes his unit disappear so that there's some question in Hero's mind about exactly where it is. And there's the Probe Zealot on the map. And you get the Nexus just slightly quicker than what I was talking about, but it was only 4 Lings, so it makes sense. Ooh, you got to micro that a little bit better. Damn. Actually, a little bit of a problem here. Yeah, maybe just not looking at it for a moment. Oh, wow, gets stuck there as well. Hero really getting a lot more damage with the 4 Lings than you would imagine. 4 more Lings back at home. 3rd hatchery going up here for Hero. And probably we'll end up seeing a Forge here now. Oh, Cybernetics Core. Damn. Best is playing so greedy right now. Not even starting Forge yet. He'll probably start it now up here. And that'll save it from getting killed by like a Hydra Bust or anything like that. So this is like a very well optimized build from Best. Looking at Hero's play, he is going into quick Zergling speed. So my guess is he will probably go from Zergling speed into layer and get that Spire. That's generally what you do if you get that Zergling speed early on. There are some bust builds, like 3-hatch Hydra busts, that you can do with Zergling speed as well, but it just doesn't look like one of those builds right now. So chasing this probe down a little bit. Layer on the way. Have that one photon cannon coming up, as well as the Stargate. So kind of like a quiet early game here, and not too surprising, right? It's a Gateway expand, scouting, overpool. So just kind of a very defensive play here from Hero. He does have a little group of Lings with that speed upgrade almost done, so he can kind of like threaten a counterattack. Normally what you'll see with the Gateway expansion is once the initial Zealot pressure is held in whichever way that might be, whether that's going for, the overpool or, going hatch first and then kind of getting enough Lings to keep them back. You'll see them work up to about 4 to 5 and then send them out again. But against Zergling speed, you'll need 2 cannons if you want to do that. So we'll see if he ends up adding another cannon. He does have that 4th Zealot on the way. Corsair coming up as well as +1, and there is that 2nd cannon. It's just, if you have only 1 cannon, the Lings run by and they lose like 1 Zergling. So, huge difference. And of course, if those Speedlings get in your main base, you're dead. In fact, he goes for 3 cannons. So that's, and this looks like anti-Hydra, honestly, where he's placing these. I think he's just playing a little bit blind. He's playing a little bit safe here, and you can't really blame him. There are some Hydras being made, but it is already layer, so it's not like a bust that we're seeing. And in fact, no Spire on the way. Oh, Hydralisk range first. Isn't that interesting? You know, we have some Zergling speed Hydralisk range builds, but no, I guess he's just getting the range to make sure that he can hit the Corsairs and keep them off the Overlords. I can't really think of another reason to use it, because this is obviously not an aggressive build at all from Hero. And the Ling's kind of running back as those Zealots start to pop out. +1 here still on the way. And he saw, of course, with those Corsair across the map that it is Hydras being made. So pretty sure here there's no mutas or anything coming up, and he'll probably just stop that production. And in fact, cancels the +1 air attack, which makes a lot of sense, right? 2 Corsairs are going to do plenty to scout the map and figure out what your opponent is doing. And that allows him to optimize into his Psystorm a little bit quicker. And in fact, he's even getting the 2nd Forge, which I really like. I'm a huge fan of Protoss players going 2nd Forge if they identify that it's Hydras and not mutas. You know, if it's mutas, you kind of need every little ounce of gas, because you need the Corsairs, you might need an Archon, and you never know exactly when that Hydralisk switch is coming, so you do need to get your Psystorm and extra High Templars out as quickly as you possibly can. But when your opponent doesn't go for Mutalisks, you have like infinite gas. So you can actually just get 2 Forges right away and start just railing out those upgrades. So really like what I'm seeing here from Best. Hero, of course, getting his Hydralisk speed. He's macroing just fine. Like, there's nothing inherently wrong with the way that Hero is playing this game. You know, it's just, I feel like Best is maybe getting the better end of the builds right now with that 2nd Forge and just 2 Corsairs. So the Zealots with their +1 are walking out a little bit. Can't really engage with the Lings, but more and more Hydras coming out. So not really that scary. Excuse me. You know, the Zealots still just kind of rotating around a little bit. You can see Hero moving between his 2 bases a little bit. The Lings are checking where these Zealots are, so his Hydras can move back, as you see there. And he's not actually going to dive in here. He's going to turn around. Yeah, he's just looking for a little bit of a diversion, seeing if he can get in somewhere. Nice flank by those Zerglings there to try to get some more Hydra damage on. And this is actually like a pretty scary amount of Hydras. Now, Psystorm is almost done, and don't forget he does have 3 Photon Cannons. So I think he's going to be fine. This is a lot of Hydras, though. You're going to need your Zealots, and you're going to need some good Storms. Now, Storm is ready, and he has at least 2 of them saved up. 3 of them, in fact, so should be able to push this back without too much problem. Okay, excellent first Storm there by Best. 2nd Storm, not quite as strong. Definitely needs 1 more, though. Starts at Archon. Uh-oh. Okay, gets a really excellent additional Storm there, and the Corsairs come in. Maybe a DT popping out could be helpful, but he doesn't have one on the way. And in fact, almost all the cannons are gone here. Oh, man. It looks like this rally is just going to almost randomly kill Best, right? Like, he was optimizing super well. And in fact, even optimizing into a Plasma Shields upgrade, which you never, ever see, but I love to see it. And these Hydras are just barely going to break through. Best not ready for this. And you can see there's like a supply block. It's only 30 drones. So, you know, Hero really pulled the trigger on this one. He's still got about 20 seconds before he's going to have a Psystorm, unfortunately. If he had one right now, then maybe he can support these cannons going up. But yeah, it looks like just enough here from Hero, and he is going to be able to bust through and break Best's front. And that should be it. Like, you're not going to be able to just rally out some Zealots and stop this. He is making some DTs, but Overlord's speed is already here. The Corsairs are doing their best to try to clear these overlords, but there's just no way he's going to get all 4 before they get up here to support killing off these DTs. So yeah, I think as he kills the DTs, that's it. GG. You know, I don't take it back. I think the forges were a great idea. He barely was broken there. And if you hold this push while you have 2 forges going on, I think that is an easy counterattack from Best. Like, he just takes complete control of the game at that point. So yeah, it was pretty close. It was a close bust. So good job by Hero there. One thing I do want to mention is we saw he was going into plasma shields as well as +2 armor, and I actually haven't seen that. Like, that's really good forge optimization. You can use 2 forges for longer, theoretically, if you're switching between upgrades sometimes. And, like, after the +1 attack, it doesn't really do much for the Protoss army. Like, it's helpful, but it really doesn't do much. You know, it's like Dragoons are explosive damage, so they don't even deal full to Zerglings or Hydras, so their attack doesn't work that much. The +1 on the Zealots, you know, unless your opponent's rushing to Carapace, which no one really does, that's going to be enough. So I really like what we saw there from Best, and I'm actually really interested to see if that's going to be maybe a trend that pops up for PvZ. That would be pretty cool. So anyways, guys, I hope you liked this little bit of palette cleanser. Now back to Flash. Thanks for watching.